James Carville was on MSNBC, the cable news channel of choice if you hate Bernie Sanders and want to watch a bunch of smears about him. James Carville was very much involved in some of those smears, but nonetheless, he's elated that he now has some evidence that Biden is likely to be the Democratic nominee. The primaries aren't over, but it's becoming less and less likely that Bernie will win. So he's already thrown out some suggestions for what Biden's campaign slogan should be. Let's hear what it is.
And I think my suggestion for the slogan is Joe Biden, because it's time for a change. I mean, that's just and take the word change and ascribe it to anything that you want. But that is what this country is looking for. They are looking for change. And
it got real honest at the end.
Yeah, no, that was actually one of the most honest statements I've ever seen on cable news. Ascribe it to whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is sloganism. Right? People like change. Now, Joe Biden is now relatively famous for telling his donors, his wealthy donors, don't worry, nothing will fundamentally change. But Carville, being the political consultant that he is, comes in and goes, it doesn't matter. You just lie to people. You tell them that Joe Biden is for change because people desperately want change. Remember how we killed change in the primary? Wasn't that funny? So we went with the no change guy, but we'll just say he was the change guy. You don't actually need the change guy, you just need to lie about it.
I mean, it worked for Obama.
It did, but Obama could credibly sell himself as a transformational figure, right? I mean, he turned out not to be, but at the time in 2008, we look back and it seemed impossible for this young black man named Barack Hussein Obama to win the presidency. So he could credibly position himself as a change figure. He was not, and then Trump ran as a change candidate. I mean, Carville is right that the electorate is desperate for change. It's just that the two political parties in this country are so structured to sell change and then deliver the same thing over and over again.
And at least Obama, he did imply that there would be change. He didn't suddenly come up with hope and change the poster and is like, yeah, changed at the last minute. They implied that there would be some changes. Biden has been aggressively, anyone who says, hey, here's a crisis or here's a different crisis, maybe we should do something about this. He takes them by the lapels and he shakes them and tells them to vote for Donald Trump. Right. You can't then say, and a change is coming. No. Maybe it is, but it's scary. I don't like it.
By the way, don't think that Trump won't use some of those clips in his attack ads because he absolutely will. The ones where Biden's telling people to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Brilliant move, Biden. Secondly, think about how that campaign slogan would go up against Trump's campaign slogan, which is "Keep America Great." So he's going to go around with his hats, "Keep America Great," Rakaga, whatever the hell they call it. And then Biden's response is going to be time for a change, without providing any evidence of like any positive change that he would accomplish.
No, but it goes one layer deeper, and this is the real mind trip. They know that change is what wins elections. Carville just told you that. You saw it with your own eyes. And they know that Bernie was the change candidate, yet Carville and all the others told you that Bernie was unelectable. They weren't worried that he was unelectable. They were worried he was too electable. They were worried he actually would win because he's actually running on change. And Carville just told you that's a winning strategy. So man, did they breathe a sigh of relief. They're like, whoo. We dodged the bullet there. We got everybody on TV to lie on our behalf and tell everybody that change is terrible, radical, and unelectable. Now that we're done with that, let's now turn around on a dime and pretend we're for change.
Well, it's also just so annoying that we still have to listen to these Clinton 92 hacks that are all super overrated. They all somehow control the Democratic Party, even though they were handed the election in 92 just because of the documentary that they made, the War Room. And it's just, there is no evidence that they know anything about the electorate these days. There is no evidence that they have any sort of, anything interesting to say about politics in 2020, yet we're still forced to listen to what they have to say every single time.
Really quick, to build off of what Nando said, they keep going back to McGovern in 72, Clinton in 92, because they don't want to go back to 2016, right, where they said Hillary Clinton couldn't possibly lose and was the most electable candidate, and she lost. Since they're so wrong today, that's why they have to do time travel to go back decade after decade and find James Carville out of some sort of Louisiana voodoo thing that's going on, pull him out of there, Am I not allowed to say that? Oh my God, you insulted Louisiana. Oh, get off of it, James. Come on, get out of here, okay? And bring him out of that dungeon or wherever he was in, oh no, we have arisen again, and this time we're going to tell you we're the party of change.
All right, I got to jump in because there's more video, and I want to make sure we get to it. So let's watch the next one, and then we'll keep discussing.
Because Senator Sanders and his movement and his supporters want to be respected. They want to be part of what the Democratic Party is moving forward, and they want to see changes that reflect their concerns, not pushing Senator Sanders out of the race before he's comfortable leaving. It might allow the Biden campaign a chance to court them rather than having to fight them.
Well, first of all, Rachel, it's the Democratic voters that made this decision. Vice President Biden is not trying to force him out. You got to respect voters. You respect the people in South Carolina and Virginia and Michigan and all the places that they're working. I mean, yes, there has to be respect, but you have to have respect for democracy.
Yeah, and so it looks like at least there, Rachel Maddow is like sort of like fingers crossed under the table. Maybe like some progressives might be watching. Maybe I don't want to turn them off for the rest of their lives. And he's like, no, I don't care. I don't think that we need them. I think that we're going to be just fine. Like you said, it's 92. We're going to pretend that there wasn't a third party candidate that got like 20% of the vote and fundamentally threw it to Clinton. We're going to pretend that that's not true, and we're going to learn nothing from decades of experience.
Yeah, and to me there, and I'm going to be a little unfair here, but that's only because of the context of Rachel Maddow doing that, what I view to be a horrible interview with Bernie Sanders, where she just reiterated every smear there ever was.
100%.
And so what she seemed to be saying there is, remember, we have to pretend to placate the Bernie voters for another week or so. We're not actually going to give them anything. Don't be ridiculous, James. James, I'm trying to coach you into saying, oh yeah, we care about the progressive vote because we want them to show up to vote for our non-change agenda. Remember, James? And James he's too cranky and he can't help himself. He's like, no. I don't remember you saying that, James, during Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. I didn't see you on TV going, voters voted, let's wrap it up, voters voted. Now, the reality is this is much later, and we probably should wrap it up in about a week. But the difference between you and us is that we're actually fair and honest. Whereas you came out the minute Biden won South Carolina, the first state he's ever won in 32 years of running for president. You're like, wrap it up, it's over. He won a state, and the voters decided, it's over. Okay, you're full of crap, and everybody knows it.
All right, one more video. Let's take a quick look.
They are saying something very clearly, and my tip of a hat to Guy Fawkes. Remember, this is all about November. These voters want to shut this thing down. I mean, you can just look all across the spectrum of the Democratic Party, and people are saying, we made our decision, this is who we're going with. And Senator Sanders may not break threshold.
Guy Fawkes wanted to blow up the parliament.
Yeah. I don't even think he watched that movie.
Using a revolutionary slogan to shove the guy who wrote the crime bill and who made it impossible for young people to discharge student debt in bankruptcy down our throats. I mean, it's the cynicism is breathtaking.
I know, it's incredible.
Yeah, to take a revolutionary who literally wanted to blow the place up and say, now remember what Guy Fawkes said, you gotta vote for Joe Biden with no change while pretending to be for change. That's what Guy Fawkes said. I'm pretty sure he didn't say that.
What did quoting that add to what he was just saying?
It just rhymes.
We got to worry about November. It wasn't the actual quote. Why did you, that weird, twisted diversion? Is that the most recent reference you can think of?
Yeah. Remember, Joe Biden is in December. So that's why Henry David Thoreau said to vote for Biden.
Remember what Gollum said, November's the precious. Can I be on MSNBC?
Darth Vader, Joe Biden is your father.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
That's good.
Okay.
I can do this.
I like the Gollum
They
one.
hate us. They hate us so much. They hate us. I mean, this idea that we have to like placate the liberals. I mean, that's what they hate us. They're not going to give us anything.
Of course
They've never given us anything. They might throw us like undersecretary of Eastern Hemisphere affairs or something to like some, but they'll never throw us anything. They want to shove it down our throats and get us to fall in line every single time. Like this is why like the Warren theory in 2016 and now of like not endorsing, maybe I'll be able to influence the Joe Biden administration or Hillary Clinton administration. They're not gonna like listen to you for anything. Like they're not gonna give you a single bone.
They don't.
What about
they
this?
Don't respect her. They don't care about her. They certainly have disdain for her policies when they were progressive, for sure. And what they're likely to do is just throw her off to the side like they did last time around because they don't need her anymore. You know what they needed her for in this election? to basically go up against Bernie Sanders and attack him supposedly from the left, but we all know that wasn't true. It's just, her political instincts are off. And I'm saying that as nicely as possible. Go ahead, John.
What if she endorsed Bernie now?
Yeah.
Strong position. That's what we need. Strong progressive leaders. Yep.
Okay. So listen, the reason they don't give us anything is because even though television refuses to talk about policy, it doesn't mean they don't care about policy. It actually is because they care about policy. So if they talked about Medicare for all in an honest way, we'd crush them. In fact, we crushed them even though they lied about Medicare for all for a year straight. So if they can't give us anything that would upset their corporate donors. So there is no compromise to be had. It's not us saying that, it's them saying it. They're the ones in power. A good way to go would be, hey guys, let's compromise. Let's do something where we actually do limit drug prices. But we saw what their idea of a compromise was. It was a Trojan horse that the Democratic leadership did in the House, where they pretended to negotiate drug prices, but actually kept them in place for the overwhelming majority of drugs for another 10 years. They gave them a new monopoly because they're paid to serve those donors, not us. That's just the reality. And if Biden really is the general election nominee, which I'm gonna tell you in a little bit why I don't think that might not happen, but if he really is the nominee, this thing's gonna blow because he's gonna lose to Trump, and then we're gonna have a very, very bad situation on our hands. But even if Biden miraculously won, there'd still be tremendous anger in the country. And they just can't bottle it up, but they think they can. They bottled it up enough to win this election, it looks like for now, okay? But at the end of the day, you can only push people down so much before they rebel. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.